Anyways, sorry, video two. Um, I didn't realize that I was already, that I'd already, had communication with the other side. I just didn't realize that that's what I was doing. Um, but I took some classes trying to hone in my skills and stuff, and also during all of this, as you can imagine, I was going through some turmoil, and I was still working full time, and I had a baby, and then I was in grief, and a couple years after my son passed away, I ended up going through a divorce. And so there was just so much trauma and grief that I just I didn't handle it very well. I pushed it all down. I was trying to, I'd reverted back to trying to make sure everyone else was okay and taking care of my baby, and I really became just a mom. That's all I could be, because it was the only way I could feel close to both of my sons, and that was the only joy I felt. It's the only thing I felt. It's almost like I shut everything down, but I wanted the outside world to know that I was okay, because it was my job to fix everybody and make sure everyone else was okay. And so, as you can imagine, I went on like this for some years, and and I broke. I ended up absolutely broken again. I had to quit working because I could not remember. I could not remember how to do what I'd been doing for 20 plus years. I had a mental breakdown and I broke. This is where I learned that I had autism, or that I'm autistic and ADHD, and I just had a mental breakdown and I had to quit working. I couldn't work. I couldn't function anymore. I broke. And my relationships broke, everything broke. And then then a year or two later, I ended up in the hospital with a blood clot in my lung and heart failure, and my ejection fraction, which is my, basically how much your output of your heart, was only at 15%. And I couldn't walk across the room without suffocating, and I was full of water. I was so sick and my body was in pain, and I ended up in the hospital and almost died because my heart was so broken, and I was determined not to feel it. And so, and I was also so upset at the world that they didn't understand that the world didn't stop for me. And I couldn't understand how, and I don't say this as mean to myself. It's very, I understand why I was the way I was, so I'm not bashing myself at all. It's all perfect as it is. But I really, and I was in a victim mentality for so long, especially, after my son died, because I couldn't understand how anyone could function, or how anyone could not be nice to someone who had lost a child, or why couldn't the world feel my pain, while at the same time I was trying to make the world think that I had no pain, that I was Superwoman and I could do it all. Anyways, it was so funny. Well, not funny, that's not a great word, but and so my story was so different for so long, because I was so sick and so broken. And then when I almost died, and my son is now, my youngest is now 12, and when I was in the hospital he was 10. And I had this vision that if something didn't change, that he would find me. He would have had to be the one that found me. Not alive. And so that kind of set a course of change. And you know what? Today I am telling a different story. And it took me almost dying of a broken heart to realize how important I am and who I really am in truth, and who we all are in truth. We are so powerful and so amazing and so worth it and so loved and love. And that's the story that I want to tell now, is how I got there and how you can get there. And that anyone that has been through these things how you can find truth and light and love in anything, and how you can feel the pain too, and how that's beautiful too, and how your loved ones still exist. Energy does not die, it only changes. And I have a beautiful relationship with both of my sons, one here and one there, and I want to share that. And it's my highest excitement to share that. And so I don't usually talk too much about the things that I've been through before, because because my story has changed. And I realize, I've been realizing lately that it's important for me to tell my story in order to be the change, to show the shift from there till now, and how maybe for one of you, you won't have to go through years and years and years of not realizing who you truly are, and having to go through so much trauma and until your body wants to break. And you know what? I'm so I'm doing so well, and I'm so great now, and so I know that we can heal ourselves. Our bodies are us. We're so powerful and amazing beyond what we even know, and I'll share more on that too in future videos. I just wanted to tell my story a little bit, and like I said, realize the importance of my story, sharing my story, because if I can help you, even just one of you, feel not alone and know that you're worth it, and know that there's beauty in everything, and know that your loved ones still exist, then I'm here for it. Anyway, I'm gonna put up these two videos. I paused in the middle, so I'm probably gonna upload them as two separate videos. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a short version of my story, and I'm probably going to just elaborate on these things as they come up. And yeah, if you want to comment, like, share, comment below if you want to hear more about anything, and I will go into things deeper. Sending all my love. Namaste.